So moving on to a similar topic on this is now that you have gone through, you went from a small place, came out, learned a lot of things in Microsoft, saw a lot of things in US. What would you think are sort of the cheat codes? As you said, remember
Yeah.
you said there were a few people that were talking to someone in Houston who was in NASA. They were giving them some idea. So if you were to look at in your life, what do you think are some cheat codes that maybe normally we don't, school doesn't teach, normally people don't talk, but these are codes that you have seen people do, whether it's their life, spirituality, money, any aspect. Cheat codes that you may feel are really cheat codes that people really don't talk about. Maybe you can think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And thanks for sending me a kind of questions you will ask. And the only question I thought about was the cheat code one because I
Okay.
do follow, I have a few cheat codes for sure. And these I have acquired over time. Um, so
Like
the first cheat
frameworks.
code of
Yeah.
framework. So for first cheat code is trying to find time to talk to somebody very senior. Somehow you should have in your network somebody, they guide you a lot. Even if you're planning of a startup, they will tell you that this is not the right time or this is the right time, because everything has its timing. You can't grow you can't grow mangoes in certain temperatures or some certain weather, or you can't grow wine in some. So everything has a timing. Even for software, like you could be just have had kids, and then you had twins, and now you are planning a startup. I'm sure a lot of people overcome it. Trust me, they break something in the process. It's like a rope that got broken once. And I have a friend who wanted to do Iron Man, and literally his wife was frustrated at the end that he's only focused on this. None of the weekends he will go out for, there are some basic shopping sometimes. Even if she can drive, they want to go together out, right? So some time is required. So finding a senior person who will continuously guide you is very important. Second framework is sleep. No matter what happens, there are a few hacks here. One is between 11 and 1, they say, is your essential sleep that allows you to feel refreshed next day. If you sleep late, then there is a possibility either you have slept late for so many years now that you have moved that 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock to now 1 to 3 or 2 to 4 in the morning. So you will have to be consistent. If you are consistently sleeping at 1 o'clock in the night, then you have to consistently sleep at 1 o'clock in the night, because it's scientific that every day if you wake up at 8, your brain now has figured out at 8 o'clock he needs to be productive, which means at 8 o'clock he needs to um, now wake up and be. Whereas today, if you grow at 7, wake up at 7, then your brain needs to reconfigure itself. And these are very important things. So sleep is very important. Sleep means having a good mattress, clean bed. If even small articles on your bed, your sleep might get impacted. You might wake up for a few seconds, or it irritates you. Then with age comes your snoring issues and things like that. I had sleep apnea. I went through CPAP. I started swimming and saunas in the evening to just to overcome that sleep challenges. Yeah. So second, definitely is sleep. Third is the food habits. Of course, are some hacks. For example, I try to do one meal a day. It's OMAD. It's called OMAD style. I skip the breakfast, and I started skipping breakfast once I read that breakfast is the best meal of the day is a advertising slogan to sell more cereal products in US. And they kind of put it in our minds that um, same with meat. Some people say meat can damage your body. It is only to basically market this other non-meat based plant-based protein industry, because they can sell it at a premium price. So and meat is actually essential. Chicken is essential for bodybuilding and your testosterone and all the mood enhancing chemicals from your brain point of view. So that's the third important thing, that framework: food, sleep, having a mentor. And having a mentor is basically uncompromisable. Vivekananda, a person like Vivekananda wanted a mentor. Can you imagine that? He kind of felt that hunger, the need to have a mentor. So a man of that caliber. Fourth, I will say, of course, fitness. So some exercise that could be yoga. Essentially, I've seen the yoga. Some of the yogasans are extremely important. Like every time I'm feeling very down, I do some stretching exercises, and these are all basically mentioned in the yoga, the yogasans we have, and they work. They literally work. Because mind it, today we might be solving technical problems. 2000 years ago, when sadhus were doing yoga and finding out, their brain was also, continuously trying to engineer stuff and uh, have a thought process. So um, they also had their own challenges of those days. They also had their own peer pressure. They also had their own fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They also had marriage issues. They also had monetary issues, and in those days, so they also thought about and figured out these yogasans. These yogasans are not like some random study, like vegan food that came only in last 10 years. These are like 2000, 3000 year old exercises. So that's the fourth framework, I will say, as a cheat code. And the fifth one is, find out all the ways a person can be basically positive, like listening to jokes, looking at memes. Every 10 minutes, spend time elevating your mood, talking with somebody who, just is a pleasure to talk with, not with somebody who will say, oh, the stock market has fallen, oh, I have lost so much in crypto. Always find somebody who is positive to talk to, or watch, stand-up comedy. Nowadays there are Bengali stand-up comics, there are Hindi, English, there are so many American stand-up comics I really like. So yeah, those are the
These
five
are the
hacks.
yeah. So I think I think these are really good ones. So I think you talked about food, fitness, sleep, which are I think many people are talking about. Getting a mentor, you said, I think is sort of shortcut to a lot of things as we are talking about. Like a lot of times, as we talked, as you came out and you went to college and you found some other people who were doing these shortcuts because they had you said mamas or uncles in the US or somewhere.
Yeah, I was telling that Bill Gates entire relatives were like, in power positions. That's how he got contact with the IBM person to sell his product, this thing idea. You and I cannot reach to the IBM VP to even hear our idea, right?
Right. So I think that brings me to another point in terms of, as let's say, as you said, you came from a smaller place. Your father was doing good, great in business there, but then as you essentially moved from a smaller pond to a bigger pond to a bigger pond, as you are now in. This is the one of the biggest ponds that you can be. Uh, what would you think? So, for example, a person starting out somewhere in Bihar, somewhere in Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh, small place. His all aspiration is okay. Let me get through my college and get that out. But what are the things he should be thinking if he doesn't have that? Like sometimes the mentors are not there, and sometimes we feel, how can we ever get to a VP of IBM if I want to start a company? But how?
Hmm.
Let's say maybe after your experience, now you have the confidence to do it. How can someone has a confidence as they are growing? I mean, that's do you have a
That's
thought about it?
I continuously think, what I would have done if I was 21 now, and I can use this last 20 years experience. If I was ever given a time machine, I will go and definitely, make a lot of changes. And I have blogs that I wrote in 2005 that I wish a senior version of me can come and tell me what to do, because I don't know what to do. There were managers there. So back in 2005, everybody was doing GRE and coming to US for masters. Yeah, I had friends from Agartala also who did the same. There were friends of mine who were planning for IS, right? Civil services. There were friends of mine who wanted to go back and do masters in IITs to get a better resume, because IIT Gate, and seven of my friends went back to IITs. So that was like a huge peer pressure for me. Then there was another set of people who wanted to go to research, so they wanted to save for 3 4 years, 5 years, and then go to PhD. Imagine, I also had a lot of options, and all of these were questionable. Means all of these had their pluses and minuses, pros and cons. Eventually,
You
I
have to
also
choose
saw
one.
that, they, if you are, as I said, focused in any one of these things, you shouldn't drop, because it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert in anything.